So then we are back with more understandings from the Aramaic English translation of the word. And it's becoming very interesting because people are more aware of the true understanding in layers from Hebrew perspective. The real understanding. So then your spirit person grows in Hebrew. Okay, so when you begin to understand what it means distinctly, body, person, soul, person, spirit, person. Shaul then in Romans the 12th chapter stated that you then renew your mind with the scriptures in Hebrew. So then your Hebrew person can grow. So then you can begin to understand in layers. So then preparing for the truth. You honestly want to save yourself, don't you? And you want your family to be saved, don't you? And you want your friends also to be saved. And your other family members far away, don't you? You're going to do your best to make sure that you are going to visit with them when the new earth comes. Or do you want to be going straight down the inferno and wait until the whole earth then is burning? The choice truly is yours. You've heard from the 6th chapter of Revelation. The Gentiles are gone by the end of the 6th chapter. Read it. And if you think otherwise, what is your gifting in the Spirit? Greco-Roman understanding, those are mockers. Spirit of mockery. But if you ask them, what is your gifting in the Spirit, so they can explain otherwise? What is it? Or are they only placing other people on the line so they can get hurt, yet you are going to the inferno when you die? The understanding is very plain from Revelation. So if you think you are going to behold the Savior coming and yourself in sin, no, neither saved, and for sure not going to behold Him coming. So preparing for the truth. Begin to have an understanding what it means having camps and Gentiles. But then of course a person when is mocking doesn't know how to count half and a half, does it? So there is a reason why they mock, because they don't know how to count. Revelation truly is very understanding, because at some point you can have as much as 10 and more layers at the same time. Is the most intense layered Megillah ever. You have to think simultaneously 10 layers plus at the same time. But then obviously those people came from Greco-Roman understanding. They don't have the ability of thinking in layers. They have to think a layer, not even a layer, and a flat surface at a time. That's why they don't understand. When is the Savior coming? At any moment. The sound of the shofar is in autumn, isn't it? So is he coming at any time? No. That's the first stupidity. The second is, he came only so far to do half of it. But the first half and the second, they are related. But these areas are for those who are mature in the spirit, because when a person is mature in the spirit, a person doesn't mock. A person is quietly observing and pondering, because the truth is able to soften them. But the softening part of it is in the spirit, because the mocking part of it comes through the flesh and lands in the soul. It shows from the person that's mocking most of the time a lack of maturity. However, those who are quietly pondering, they are very smart, because they have the ability of placing those areas on a shelf. So then, and a lot of them don't even talk to their pastors because there's such a nonsense. Ask your pastor, why do you think he came us to save us from his holy laws for? Wait a minute. He came to save us from his holy laws. If they are holy, why are they saving us from them? You understand that Moshe received was holy, wasn't it? So why he came to save us from his holy laws? That a person can ponder and think of, maybe there were other laws included in them. And there were thousands. Takanot, Masim. At some point there were more than 10,000 laws. There were so many people were lost. They couldn't understand what was holy and what not. And then what they were for sure knew it was sin, then if they would pay a bit of money, they wouldn't be sin anymore. Scoundrels. Absolute scoundrels. They were absolutely 100% the worst scoundrels that ever lived. And Yahweh had to deal with them face to face. He came to clean up his holy laws from the other junk. So he came to save us from the junk included in his holy laws. But then people, they think that he came to save us from his own laws. Why would he come to die to save us from his own laws? Doesn't even make sense. If they were holy and given for the purpose of training, why would he save us from? Shouldn't have even given in the first place. His word would be enough. So you know what? You are saved. Do what you want. Use my name, and then that's it. Would be easier, wouldn't it? Why would he send his son to die on a stake for you? For what reason? Use his name. But then the contrary understanding of the entire situation is he gave the instructions so the instructions would remain. Those were the standard way of living until the closing of the age. There were merely transitions, and those were completed, and then there was transitory only the dams of animals, because they were substituted by his own. That's why we have the Megillah of the Hebrews. Those are the updates of the tabernacle service. Yet they would go around the world forming churches or holy lands, and they would shepherd the Gentiles. And then what is interesting is in the 6th chapter of Revelation, in the very last paragraph. You know what's interesting? For the great day of the wrath has come, and who is able to stand? You know what is he saying? Gentiles don't have a chance. Read the end of it. For the great day of the wrath has come, and who is able to stand? Because then Yochanan, the Shaliach, did understand. There were no more Gentiles. Only remained the camps and the set-apart city. Gentiles are gone. Then the question is, are you ready to die? Because this world is transitory. Someday we must stand up before other people and share. Be ready in season and out of season. Always ready to stand strong on behalf of the Lamb or the Messiah. Can you do this? Always ready to explain it? If you are to go with the flow in the world, you can't do it. Because going with the flow is thinking alike. If people they think alike, they can't be original. How are you going to be on behalf of the Messiah if you are like the others? Granted that those people that are going with the flow, they have the wrong translation in their hands, but then trying to convince them of it's not very easy. But it's for their benefit. You don't hurt other people, you save them. Because your very life depends. He came and he completed only half of the work. Imagine the number of thousands and thousands and thousands of false ministries. Every single ministry related with religion of the false Messiah is false. No exception. Because he said, if you practice iniquity, you are of the evil. And what is evil? It's breaking of the law, holy laws. We were given the guidelines so then we would avoid breaking the laws. That's why we have guidelines. And the situation is, we must be faithful in level of Goyim or Gentiles, so then we can die and be in peace. Because the first portion depends also of the second portion. You can't have salvation from the spring feast without having the peace that you are coming from the dead in a new earth. The new earth is going to be established when the previous earth is destroyed. If you don't think there is a second feast coming, then how can you be part of the new world? You have to be faithful to the first and the second. Each of us. So if you are a person not used to the Shabbat is the seal that makes you part of the second. If you break the Shabbat, the least of the law, then you are not part of it. Because he came to clean up the holy laws from the other thousands upon thousands upon thousands included. He came to set us at liberty from the other included laws, not from the holy laws. It doesn't make sense for him to come and to save you from the very instructions he gave you to live by. They were merely completed. Only the part of the dam of animals. The rest remained as instructions. But then we were given the practical side of it via guidelines, while the laws are completed and taken care of in each camp. That's why in Revelation the camps are protected, because they are 100% obedient. The camps are part of heaven. They have a direct link with the heaven. That's why they are preserved. And then he states, for the great day of the wrath has come. And who is able to stand? What he's saying is, at that moment, the number of the slaughterings of the Gentiles were then completed. From the 7th chapter and beyond, there are only the holy camps of the Hebrews and the beloved city. rest of the world, they are furiously trying to destroy them. Because it's wrath. There are steps of formation, and begin to read the Aramaic and then the Hebrew understanding of it, always in layers. When you read Revelation, there are more than 10 layers at the same time. So it comes to a point where you have to trust a person that can share with you. And then you have to make a choice. And you have to take a chance in believing what a person is saying to you. Until you begin to understand in layers. So then you begin to understand the importance of the instructions.